Good morning, fourth grade. Mrs. Bilger here. Today we are talking about character traits. So thinking about how character traits can really play into how we read a book, how we analyze a book, our thoughts about our book, our thoughts about our characters, our thoughts about the story in general. So thinking about how readers really grow these ideas about characters today. So today I want to teach you, in order to grow ideas about characters, we really pay attention to not just all the parts, but little parts within each storyline and paying attention to those details. So when we think about character traits, there's a few things that we need to think about. We need to understand the difference between traits and the difference between traits versus feelings. So if we look at this little post-it right here, you can see that when we think about traits versus feelings change from moment to moment. Throughout the book, one moment the character might be happy, the next moment the character might be sad. So feelings can change from moment to moment. If you think about a trait is who you are deep down inside. That never really goes away. Or if it goes away, it doesn't happen quickly. It happens over time. So thinking about a trait, determination, motivated, outgoing. Those are all things that you have, that you are, that really define who you are, and they don't really change over time. So when we think about traits, we can think about things that don't change, or if they change, it doesn't happen quickly. And feelings are things that can happen and change from moment to moment. Think about a TV show, how the feelings of a character may change over time, may change quickly in that TV show. Same thing in your book. They change quickly from page to page possibly, whereas those traits might not change until the end of the book if your character makes a change. So thinking about how we can really grow in our reading and in our thinking about our characters and about these traits versus feelings. So to do this, we can think about what kind of character the character is. What do they do? What do they say? What do they think? What do they feel? And in doing that, we might be able to name the trait. Hopefully we'll be able to name the trait. Something that we've always talked about with reading is giving that evidence, that text evidence. So we want to remember as we're reading, not only to continuously think about what's going on, what they're doing, what they're saying, what they're thinking, what they're feeling, but remember that we're giving evidence from the text. In the text, it said. All right, so making sure that you have those things. If we look at this posted here, I know you all read Because of Winn-Dixie last year. So if we take a quick look at this posted, these are some traits from Because of Winn-Dixie. Charming, gentle, ignorant, harsh, melancholy, sorrowful, desperate, concerned, prideful. So traits, things that necessarily aren't going to change from moment to moment, whereas the feelings can. So thinking about different kinds of traits, we're going to take a look at today just a simple little slide. And in doing so, we're going to hopefully be able to think about what trait the main character in this little snippet is thinking, or what they're displaying.
Character traits. Carlos was determined to become the school president. Although he lost 2 years in a row, he never gave up. Carlos worked every day making posters to hang around the school and practicing his campaign speech. He walked around the school at recess time, talking to other kids and asking for their support. Carlos looked forward to election day. He wanted to make a difference in his school.
Okay, fourth grade. So after listening to Mrs. Reber and her character trait, we can think about Carlos as our main character. So in this case, we can say that I feel that Carlos is determined. So I could write, I think Carlos is determined and motivated to win the election. So those are my thoughts. Those are what I think a character trait are, or two character traits that there are for Carlos. And not only do I just want to stop there, I have my thoughts, I have the traits listed. If we go back to this post-it note, it says to give that text evidence. In the text, it said. So if I continue back and come back to this, I can say, in the text, it said he worked on his campaign speech. And made posters to hang. So not only am I saying the traits, now again, notice that my traits are true traits. They're not feelings. He doesn't feel determined. He is determined. He doesn't feel motivated. He is motivated. So I've listed my 2 traits. Okay. And I didn't just stop there. I gave my text evidence. In the text, it said, so I want to make sure I state my traits, and then I want to give that text evidence. So today, when you practice, you're going to have a Google slide. So it's all about character traits and focusing on character traits. So we've got traits versus feelings. Remember, we talked about this, traits versus feelings. Those feelings can change from moment to moment or quickly, and those traits are what are deep down inside of who we are and who we always are. It might take a long time for those things to change. So today, when you do your work, you're going to have a scenario, just like we did with Carlos. You're going to have a scenario there, read through it, and what I want you to do, where it says type your answer here, I want you to go through and think about what trait does the main character really display. Okay, boys and girls, today and every day when you do your reading, continuously thinking about growing your ideas while you're reading. We're working on growing our readers about characters. So today, to be a successful reader and writer, you might do a few things in your writing. I definitely want you to think about writing what your traits are for your main character. And I also want you to make sure you include that text evidence in the text it states. So have a great reading lesson today. Off you go.